Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we got a salesman, a theater performer,
Same thing.
human extraordinaire, Chuch Fefchak.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming.
It's like midnight. You've been setting up for a while.
Yeah.
Wow, that was Goose's fault.
I know.
Yeah, we're all ready.
It's midnight for old guy. It's like 9 o'clock for the rest of us.
He's all cold now.
Let's all sip at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that way,
Synchronized.
yeah. We're all on the same cycle.
Yeah, okay.
So, Chuck, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I am a salesman, and I do theater. I don't know about the, what was it? Human extraordinaire thing?
That was just bullshit.
Yeah, okay. Because I don't want to measure up to that.
That was fluff.
I lived down in this region for about 20 years.
Where did you grow up?
Never did. I was born in Virden, and that's where I moved from in '98.
Texas.
Yeah, right, Texas.
That's pretty much on the Saskatchewan border, so yes.
Pretty much. The gap, as we call it.
The gap.
It's the gap in the middle of Canada.
So did your phone like switch?
Oh, we didn't have phones.
Oh, true.
Just a lot of tin cans and strings.
MTS.
Nothing has changed.
It's still just strings and cans.
So yeah, I moved down here about 20 years ago, and I've been a salesman ever since.
Cool. You had a restaurant back in Virden, correct?
I was a manager of a restaurant in Virden. I owned one in Russell.
Oh, okay.
Back in '85, I moved up to Russell and did my thing up there for a few years. And
Just so you know, that was a year before I was born.
jeez, you're lucky it's recorded.
I know, that's why I'm taking the shot.
I know, it's your show. Go ahead. I don't know when I'm going to recoil back though.
That's fine.
Yeah, I lived in Russell till '89. Spent from February till the following April, so like 14 months, which was in Thompson. So it was really in dog years. It was about 3,000 years. And then I moved back to Russell for a spell, moved back to Virden, and then ultimately back down here, or not back down here, down here.
Okay.
What drew you over here?
A job, actually. I was working as a salesman in Virden, and a job opened up down here. As coincidence would have it, the job was ending there. So it was just a matter of contacting the guy down here, who I got the name from the Honda district manager, sales manager, what have you. Came down here for, I don't know, a 2-hour interview where we drank about 40 cups of coffee. And I went back home, and about a week and a half later, he said, "When can you get here?" And as they say, the rest is history.
They do say that.
They said it.
You don't know
Well,
what
they
they
did.
say? Oh, well, listen, I'm not going to go there. Bob's your uncle.
No.
Sure, Uncle, they say that.
Goose hates
I
it.
hate that term.
He hates it so
And
much.
speaking of pet peeves, what are your
Yeah,
pet
there you
peeves?
go.
Pet peeves. Pet peeves. Jeepers.
Like, I hate when people say Bob's your uncle, or
It is
first
what it
gonna
is.
I'm first gonna get this
is
one
what
out
it
of
is.
my,
I
out of
hate
my
that
system.
thing because it doesn't need to be what it is. What it is. It is what it is. Well, why?
Oh, yeah,
That's a pet peeve saying. People that don't know what they're to use or what you're to use, and they put it on their posts in this belligerent, "Hey, you know what really grinds my gears?" And then their grammar
where.
sucks, and I just like scroll.
Yeah.
Delete.
That's a pet peeve. What are your pet peeves?
I hate it when women, well, I guess not just women.
I
but
hate
when,
women.
When people use the word hubby to describe their husband.
Yep.
Really?
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
Hubby.
me too. Hubby. Yeah.
I never gave it
I
much
hate it.
thought.
No,
I
every
hate it.
every
It's
woman
like,
on Virage sale,
Hubby.
that's what they do. And it's, yeah, I agree with you. It is,
Well, what do you want to be called? Well,
Goose?
not that you're a husband. That was close.
Well, he has been.
Almost got punched in the face.
Yeah,
there.
true.
Yeah.
So have I. It's a long
yeah,
story.
we're part of a club of
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
A
maybe we
shitty
should
trial.
just let these Yeah, maybe you guys should just talk about it.
Yeah,
We'll
but we're
just
going to need
leave.
some 15-year-old scotch to start talking about that.
I'll pick
Yeah.
some up. For you guys. Let's go.
Throw out the 10-year-old.
Throw out the 10-year-old scotch.
Yeah.
Scotch, yes.
So if you don't want to be called hubby, what do you want to be called, Ed?
Husband.
Oh, that's better.
Come hither, husband.
My man.
My man.
My man?
Yeah, my man.
my man?
I don't know. It's just the hubby for some reason. There's got to be a
Two
better way.
70s?
It's like
Maybe.
it's like scratching the chalkboard.
Mm.
That's what it does. To
I
me.
guess.
I just like being called by my name.
Yeah, that too.
So when your wife says, "My Lucas,"
My Lucas.
Just,
Yeah.
without the my in front. Lucas.
fair enough.
This works. Never Luke.
No, she thinks that's weird.
It's a
My
little-
family, like my parents call me Luke.
Yeah.
That's only when
But
he
then-
dresses up in the Star Wars
Yeah.
Yeah.
costumes.
Jedi.
I am your father. Yeah. That joke definitely was used many times throughout my childhood.
Wow.
Many times.
New dude.
Try having a name like Chuck, and then maybe you guys remember the Name Game, that song? The Chuck Bulldog.
No.
Yeah, that didn't get old.
Did people swear
like,
a lot?
That's like telling a cop a donut joke, right?
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah. Heard them all.
Speaking of that annoying things, when Lady Gaga's song came out, Alejandro,
Okay.
Oh.
finally everybody knew how to say my name, but they did it all the time. And they, yep. That was, yeah.
Lucas is one of them.
Oh yeah, because every time I say his name, I still think of that song. So
Forgive
But
me,
then-
I don't think of that song. I do very, very hard not
It's good.
to think
It's
of
good.
that song.
But it was funny. I had my alarm clock set on radio, wake up time. So all of a sudden that song woke me up. And in my dreams, I had Lady Gaga saying Alejandro, Alejandro. And then all of a sudden I wake up and it's Alejandro. I'm like, whoa, that's annoying.
Too real.
it is
Yeah,
too
that was
real.
really annoying. So, no more radio alarm clock.
That's it.
Yeah,
Just
that
a
was it.
buzzer.
Yeah, just a buzzer. Yeah. Fun story, fun fact.
Yeah. No kidding. Any pet peeves?
For me, I was actually going to say the same one that you had with the there on social media when people use the wrong there.
Like, not only are you ranting about something that's,
It makes me so mad.
About
But-
kittens getting killed.
Yeah.
yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Kittens are
Yeah.
wonderful.
Watch your grammar.
Yeah,
That's the important
yeah.
lesson. Yeah. That would be one of mine. I don't know. I don't like it when people sit at their desks at work and click pens.
Ooh,
drives
I do
me-
that all day.
that drives
That's
me
kind of a
long.
nervous thing with mine.
Nuts.
I don't do it as much anymore because I actually was told that's
Yeah.
really annoying.
Yeah.
Like by a client, because I'd be just let
Or-
me think. Click, 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 click. Can you please stop
Yeah.
doing that?
when I was the manager at at Rogers, there was one guy who worked there who would always, his nervous twitch was he would just like take pens apart, like he would just like unscrew them, and then like at the end of the day we would have like 4 or 5 broken pens. And then I'd have to go to Staples to go buy more
dick.
pens. And I'd be like, "What's your deal, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Stop doing that."
Stop
So
doing
then
it.
eventually, I think he bought like one of those fidget spinners, and then he was
Oh,
good.
okay.
Fix the problem.
Oh, that was annoying.
Whatever happened to the fidget spinners? There's
just
someplace
that died
there's
off.
drawers filled
A
with
warehouse.
someplace.
Some
There's-
landfill
and I
is
laugh.
full of them.
You're so stupid.
Yeah.
Because you bought a nice one
I
and you just
didn't
have the
buy
one.
any of them. I just couldn't believe that people were buying them. I'm like,
Well, it's
$20.
funny.
It wasn't like there was. Oh, this is a really nice one. Yeah,
Does the same thing as all the other ones.
it's got
bearing.
bearings and everything.
Yeah, but these bearings are sweet.
Yeah.
Spins forever.
And they're weighted to have perfect balance for
and,
tricks.
And then I remember, like this one guy who I knew who bought one. He said it just spins forever. I'm like, well, isn't the point that you like have to keep flicking it? Like, wouldn't you want one with rusted out bearings? So you just have to flick it every half a second.
Well, there's
Nope.
got to be a balance.
Does there though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think balance went right out the window when the whole product was introduced.
Yeah. Fidget spinner.
Well, and then my
Pet
favorite was when
rocks.
they made the pens with fidget spinners on the top.
Oh, I never heard of that.
So now not only can you click the damn thing, you can spin it too.
Everybody.
That would just mean when I jammed it into your arm, it would take meat out with it when I was done.
It's like you might as well just give everybody one of those Bop It toys
Yeah.
at their desks.
Yeah, that was the best fidget spinner.
Wow.
Bop it.
So yeah, fidget spinners, huh?
I don't even know how we got
Big
that.
gulps, eh?
Not a
Well,
clue.
see you later.
Yeah. Jeez.
Do you have any hidden talents
Jeesh.
that people don't know about? You can
And that I'm going to expose
exactly.
here.
Yeah.
Let me think.
With your clothes on. Sorry.
Yeah, keep the clothes on.
Keep the clothes on.
let's keep it-
Actually, I'd need to put more on if I was going to show you.
Oh,
Nice.
Are you a skiing expert?
No, I don't ski. I don't ski. I am a pole ski, but I don't ski. No, I don't think I have any talents that I've hidden.
Okay.
Believe me, I'd exploit
Okay,
the
maybe
crap
some-
out of them.
maybe some talents that are maybe weird or just different. Like Goose, what do you do? What's a hidden talent or something?
The thing with my eye that I can do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So gross.
So like gross
I don't
shit.
know if that's. I was gonna say I don't know if that's a talent, but it's just weird.
Can you do it?
No.
No.
That's a talent.
I can't wiggle my ears either.
I don't know. Yeah.
I can whistle well, I've been told,
Oh, yeah.
but annoyingly. Like, because I don't even sometimes realize it.
Like
I'll be,
Snow
I'll be-
White?
No. Well, Snow White only by Streetheart. That's all.
There you go.
That's too old for me.
Everything's too old for you. The 15-year-old Scotch is too old for you. That's why we're making 10-year-old stuff. I've been told about it a number of times when I'm doing teardown after a show, actually. So you're just doing mindless, lift the 2x4, carry it over here, lift the 2x4. So you're not thinking of anything, and
Right.
and there's lots of times there's music playing. If it's something I'll recognize, I will, I don't know, unconsciously, subliminally whistle like a harmony to what's going on. It's not a good harmony, and I'm not going to do it because it sounds stupid as hell. But
It's like
But-
the tractor
okay.
beam
No.
whistle.
yeah, well, I can do that, but I'm whistling not the song that's playing, but a tune that will go along with
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I can whistle well, but it's apparently pretty annoying. Like, okay, you whistle well, but shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, didn't realize it.
That's funny.
I don't know if that's a talent.
Okay.
If it is, it's a heck of
Well,
an annoying one.
If that's,
If that's a talent,
Yeah,
I'm like
anything.
a maestro.
yeah, you're good. I think
Exactly.
so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A savant.
Oh wow. All right.
Chuck, if we went to happy hour, what would you order
What time of the year is it?
right now?
Oh, I'd have a Corona probably. If they would serve Innocent Gun in any bar, I would drink
Innocent
an Innocent
Gun.
Gun. Oh, that's good beer.
This
eh?
is a good
beer.
beer. I haven't
And you
had that
need
in
like
ages.
2.
Yeah.
You're good.
And you're good.
Okay, funny story. I went home last summer for a class reunion. There was 4 years, so it was my 37th year reunion. I know, like twice as old as most of you guys.
No comment.
If it would have been my 10-year, when it was my 10-year reunion, I took like 3 flats, and I was out of beer Saturday at midnight. Like Friday and Saturday, I drank all this beer. I hadn't drank all of it. Beer. You know how you get all generous when you're liquored up.
Yeah, no kidding.
I had an 8-pack of Innocent Gun. There were still 3 in my sister's fridge when I went home. Like, that's just the difference. But you don't need a bunch of Innocent Gun. It's like eating a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very.
It fills you right up.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a good beer though. I like it too.
Yeah. Big
What-
But if it's wintertime, I'd probably order a rum, like a,
Oh, yeah.
a really pressed spiced rum or amber, or maybe a shot of scotch, but just scotch.
Fair enough. Sounds good. Let's
Yeah.
go to happy hour.
I'm ready. Yeah.
I'd have a Corona.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You can get rid of them in a hurry. You
It's
just
true.
need to have a
Yeah,
line.
you can just pound them back.
You have
That's
to have a
true.
line.
Yeah.
That's-
Oh yeah.
that-
Then that's true.
If you don't have a line, then it's just kind of. Bleh.
I was at a resort in Mexico, and they didn't even have Corona.
No, because they're sponsored by beers.
And I was just the whole time I was there. How do you not have Corona? Nope.
Was it Sol or Dos Equis?
Dos Equis.
Yeah, so they sponsor the resorts.
But they had really good Jameson whiskey there, so I just had that.
Wow, that's frightening stuff.
It was good.
Well, I'm sure it is. It just
Makes Chuck's pants fall off.
no.
No, it was perfect because I would just go there and they would give me just like half a cup, and then I would just sip on it all afternoon. It was great, and then I didn't drink all day long. It's perfect.
Half a cup. I don't think I've had a half a cup of Jameson's in my life, and that's
Well, over the course of like 8 hours.
yeah. Well, I've lived longer than that.
That's true.
That's funny. Well, I think we should go into a break.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're back.
How you do?
Yeah, we're back.
We back.
You enjoying yourself, Chuck?
Yeah, it's great. It's
Have you done a podcast before?
I have, but it was a
Yes.
scripted podcast.
Oh,
Like
Tell people about it.
A friend of mine, Sky Thorlison from
Yeah.
Manitou,
Yeah.
wrote a story. Actually a really good story.
I listened
You've
to all of it. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, you told me about it.
It's
Okay,
called
cool.
Echoes.
It's called Echo, yeah, and it's
Echo,
a
right.
really great story. That's a fantasy about creatures that live in the earth, and they send this guy down into a cave for what would you say, crimes that he had done.
Okay.
He hadn't done dick.
It was a blind
They
guy.
were just trying to
too.
get rid of the blind guy. They thought it was bad
Interesting.
luck.
Oh.
And they sent him down into the caverns. These 3 guys took him down into the caverns and were going to leave him there. And in the process of leaving him there, they discovered that the legend was true. That there is creatures that live in these caves, and they meet a couple of them. And there's a story. And listen to the podcast 'cause it's really good. So
Sounds-
yes, I have.
it sounds interesting.
It
Yeah,
was
check
it was
it out on
exactly 4 hours of work. I was
Okay.
in 4 scenes, and we just were in a studio about what we're in here, and read the script 3 times. And of course, being that it wasn't recorded like this is, it was the easiest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, the script is in front of you.
Oh,
Just read it.
Yeah,
Which is-
people, if they want to check it out, it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's easier to search Thorleifson Sky.
Sky Thorlison,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Than it is Echo, because there's a lot of stuff named Echo.
Yeah,
But
probably.
I recommend just searching Sky Thorleifson.
If I can,
And,
I'll link it below.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
send it to you because
Yeah.
I've
Just-
listened to
it'll
it.
be down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun listen. It's great. What is it? 8 episodes?
Yeah. It was fun to do, but it was simple to do. It's,
Nice.
as Goose had mentioned, I do a lot of theater, which means you don't get to have the script in your hand. So even when what were they shooting? Tales from the Loop here in Morton,
Yeah.
and they said, "Hey, why don't you do that? Because you've done a lot of this." And it's if you screw up, cut. We'll do it again. Reset.
You do it 20 times.
Yeah. Even when you do it right, you do it 20 times.
Yeah.
Well,
And
see,
I
it
did a
was-
movie with Mike Clausen from Winkler.
Okay.
This was a few years ago. He wrote I'm on Internet Movie Database.
I was gonna say Chuck is on IMDb.
It's called Contract Player, and
Okay.
that was the same kind of thing, one camera scale.
Okay.
But that was actually a lot of fun because you were goofing off,
That's cool.
Yeah.
But why don't you do that? I'd rather do theater.
Well, like going to watch them film the Tales from the Loop, it's boring to watch.
Absolutely.
Like it's cool to see
It's
how they
the
do
process
it.
is
The
cool.
process is
I,
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
I don't disagree with that. But I
Absolutely.
have no desire
Yeah.
and didn't even
No.
spend one nanosecond on Main Street.
Yeah.
It gave me a newfound respect for actors because they have to be very patient. Because it's just the same shit over and over and over. Okay, reset the scene, go back and do your line.
Yeah, and
you have to give it your all every time. right?
Every
and
time.
they have to film for 30 seconds, and then
Then they
that's
move the
then
camera
reset the scene.
6 inches. Okay, do it again.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Crisis.
And then they were moving cars around, and like, oh man, I was like, yep. I think I was there for an hour. And
The
then
fascination that I would find mostly in watching that is the guy in the chair deciding that we're going to move that car 7 feet, but this car only 3 feet.
Well, they had this
Yeah.
little cart.
Just like, what the hell's the difference? But it does.
He's
make
just
a
on so
difference
much
when you.
cocaine. You just hear him saying-
Well, they had this really cool camera rig on wheels, and that they were driving around. That to me was really interesting. But
Oh, like a go-kart with a camera on it, kind of thing.
yeah, it was
It's
bigger
like
than
a
that.
full-size
Yeah.
car. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially that's what it was, with a bunch of arms coming out with cameras on it, with 2
Yeah,
dudes.
it was
Just, oh man, it was so
That
cool.
that would be actually
Yeah,
really cool.
I have a few pictures, even though they said not to take pictures. That's fine. I took them.
But you took pictures.
Amazon's
yeah.
gonna ram one up ya.
You ever been rammed by an Amazon?
No, I can't wait.
Wait, Chuck, have you?
Wait, yeah.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
So speaking of theater, tell us a few of your favorite productions you've done.
Geez. Well, I would say two of the favorites that I have that come to mind immediately are the two that we did at the Oak Valley site. So they were a Candlewick production, not an Oak Valley production. And we did Les Miserables, and we did the biblical story of Moses.
I was in that play with you.
Yeah, you were part of the band
I was.
in Moses.
First time I saw you, you were completely bald
Yeah,
like a baby.
from the equator north, and like I gotta wear a hair suit, so it was honestly, and I'm not shitting you, 45 minutes every day, because you'd have to shave everything completely, and you get double jointed because you'd have to do the back of your head.
Wow.
The worst of it was the first, like taking off the chest hair,
Oh, yeah.
because that's like the man's suit, right? And that was, I thought, well, I don't want to shave it all. So what I did is I got Nair. Don't do that. Because that is the grossest, nipple stingingest. Holy crap.
Don't put it on your nipples.
Well, it was my chest hair. Am I going to like tape them over? Put a little Janet Jackson thing going on there.
You know those.
You've got hair in a star shape around each.
You know those round band-aids? That's what they're for.
Is that what they're for? Who freaking knew that?
So
yeah,
shape. So yeah.
those were two of my favorites. Of recent, we do a lot of comedies with Candlewick, so
yeah.
it's tough to pick a favorite. We're doing a really cool one this fall that I can tell you about.
You can?
Spilling the beans, I can
Let's
tell you.
do
about
it.
In the fall, last fall we did something a little bit different in the Kenmore. We did a musical that the Candlewick players had never played a musical at the Kenmore. And it was the first time we had done it, and it was also the first time I had my name on the program that said director. Like it was, so we did Little Shop of Horrors, and we called ourselves the classic Kenmore players, and it was a little bit of a different stories with an edge, I guess you could say. This year we're going to do To Kill a Mockingbird, which is a pretty heavy show.
Yeah.
It's we're going to do it in its entirety. We're going to do it as it's written. So, you know, there's going to be vernacular that was common in the time in Alabama. It's going to be on stage, because otherwise the story is going to lose everything that Harper Lee wrote. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that might be it's always been a kind of a thing for the last, I don't know, 15 years. Gee, I'd like to play Atticus Finch. So I get to play Atticus Finch.
No, there you go.
It sounds like I'm, at least in some form, going to be directing too. So that's going to create an overwhelming thing. But hey, if Clint Eastwood could do it, I can.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
He's got nothing on you.
Mel Gibson? Who the heck is that?
Hey Goose, you were on stage once, right? With
Yeah, with
With-
us.
with Chuck.
Yeah,
It was with
he
you.
played a Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did See How They
See
Run.
how they run. And Goose was perfect. He was just. You didn't have a lot of lines.
It was
And
awesome.
what lines you said were in a very thick Russian accent.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Do your Russian accent.
Oh, man.
Come on.
I can't just do it on the spot.
Sure you can.
Do svidonja.
Yeah, it does. That was actually a line from the play.
It was.
So don't nail us with copyright.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Goose was good. Been trying to get him back, but he's a busy guy, right?
Yeah.
It's such a big commitment. I would love to do it again, but I have so many other things going on. It's hard to commit that sort of time.
The thing with Valentine's, it's at most a 4.5 week prep. Like we know what we're gonna do in sometime third week in December. This is what we're gonna do, and then we may have a read through between Christmas and New Year's. I think that's happened twice in 10 years. Usually the first rehearsal is like the 4th or 5th of January, and you do 2 a week. You have one Saturday rehearsal, and then the first week in Feb, you're putting it on.
I remember the first time we went on and we had to do the full play. It's like 80% of us didn't know all our lines.
Yeah, that's a
It was
Candlewick thing too.
such a shit show.
Yeah, it was. Prayer helps. Seriously.
But it all came together awesome. It was a good time.
Yeah. the thing about the comedies, especially like See How They Run,
Because it's a farce, right?
it's a farce. So it's timing of entrances and exits, and you wait for the crowd to get what's going on, and you hear it. I call it the Three's Company moment. You guys are too young for Three's Company.
No, I've seen
I
it.
watched
But
it lots.
when something happens that is revealed to the audience that say maybe Jack doesn't know, you hear the audience go, ooh. And when your audience does that, it's just, okay, the frickers are on.
Yeah.
So now we have them. And that had a lot of Three's Company's moments. We did the prequel. The prequel? Sorry, the sequel. No, it is the prequel. It's called I'll Get My Man.
To See How They Run?
To See How They Run.
Okay.
Where in See How They Run, I played in the third act only because I had done the play before many, many years ago, and so I didn't want to reprise the role. And Brad Wheeler, who had played Lionel Toop in it before, wanted to. I said, "Great, you do that." And I was actually I had 25, 30 lines, but I was kind of helping with the direction and stage managing a little bit. So the prequel, my character Humphrey is actually the main character. That was a lot of fun because I'm running around on stage with my underwear on, and nothing else. It was theater underwear, so it's not like I had a banana hammock on.
That would have been funny.
That would not be funny.
Oh yeah, for
That's
me it would have been.
Too much flesh, and it's all in the wrong place, which is the real problem.
Why has he got coconuts on the back?
Goose was in See How They Run, and he was a lot of fun, and I would like to get him back on stage again because he's kind of a natural for that horse shit.
Yeah. Are you going to direct more then? Is that what you're trying to do, or?
Well, I'm kind of landing in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 55 years old, so the chance of me getting the lead role in a romantic that's not liable to happen. There's just not many plays written for guys my age. And, I might be able to, with enough makeup and plaster and stucco, I might pass for 40. I ain't ever passing for 25.
You gotta hire the.
Oh yeah, we're bringing in. There's some major stippling. Crap filling. Gotta dial up your face so it tightens up.
Some washcloths.
I can't get my lines out. To be or not to be. So to answer the question, I'm finding that I'm doing more. I didn't know that I was doing it.
Okay.
We were doing a Christmas show, and it was, See How They Run was a shit show. This was a complete gong show. Like, prayer helps. We had like 2 days to get ready, and we finally got set up, and we had everything going. It was just a question of getting the poop in a group. But personalities that do theater,
They're a
they
weird
follow
bunch.
squirrel trails. And
They're a
moose
weird
tracks.
bunch.
We're all over the map. And I just started barking orders. Like, not rude, just saying, okay, you come in, and when that line hits, then you should be here so that it just runs smooth into the next one. Richard was upstairs getting tech. He was sick as a dog, like seriously cold, flu, leprosy. He had, like, it was a list.
It's falling apart.
He was there, shit falling off the balcony. And after we got through the first week of shows, one of my castmates said, "Wow, that was really kind of cool when you kind of took direction there." I said, "What?" And you just kind of started barking, and and just everything moved, and I went, "Geez, I didn't mean to do that." My first instinct was, and I went and saw Rich immediately that afternoon. I says, "Hey, did I step out of line?" He goes, "No, that was fine. You should do more of that, actually, because and it's just kind of morphed into that. Last summer, we did Esther at the Opera House, and I didn't have anything to do with the show other than I was working with the characters and developing.
Cool.
Not so much the characters up front, because Richard would look after that, the big picture. I was in the background when they would have a crowd scene at the market. Okay, what are you doing? And you're going to be doing this. And we built a loom. It's called a drop weight loom, and it's what they used in those times to weave blankets and stuff. It worked. Like, it had a shuttle that would go through, and they were weaving on stage. Flo and I built that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, about an hour and a half and 3 beer each.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, I believe that.
Flo is he's a hoot.
But you had to buy doweling and then kind of age it. Oh, frick, have you bought that much doweling?
Nope.
That was like
Can't say I have.
$60. It was like kindling. Like this is what
Yeah.
you'd start your fire with. It was a good prop.
Nice.
Do a lot of that background stuff. And I find watching plays, and I watch, like this past weekend, I watched 2 plays. I find myself looking in the background when I watched Pride and Prejudice on Friday night. And I was junior high kids. And I've been in the play and I've seen the show like 5 or 6 times. And so I know all the lines. I found myself looking in the background. It was really well done. Like these junior high kids had great timing. They'd had the same amount of practice and rehearsal issues that you and I had. So there were some pauses while the Rolodex mind went through to find the line.
Where's this line again?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I know a guy that and I'm not going to mention his name, but you can always tell when he loses his line. He's got a tell, right?
Is it Steve?
No, it's not Steve. Steve never loses a line.
Actually, he keeps them forever.
Yeah, he does. He's got a lot of voices in his head, Steve. This guy, when he loses his line, it must have a tattoo of the script on the inside of his eyelids because he starts doing this and he's looking in it's really, and you're on stage, it's like, oh shit. Like, you got to move ahead because you may have to skip his line and feed him the next one so you keep the scene moving.
Yeah.
So it feels like an eternity. The audience doesn't even realize it. Right?
Yeah.
It's like 2.5 seconds. In theater years, that's like forever.
Yeah.
Eternity.
I used to be in a play. Do you know that?
No.
That one that always happens.
The Passion Play?
Yeah.
Were you in that?
I was one of the little kids,
Cool.
the carpenter kids,
Oh.
for many years.
So
Really?
that play, I lived in Manitou for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's what, 19, 20 years?
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to say I've never seen
Oh, yeah.
that show.
It was
Because usually I'm involved
yeah.
with the summer show
Yeah.
and I'm not taking
It
the
was
time.
always packed. I remember. I mean, I was little. All I remember was that they would just have infinite amounts of snacks backstage, and then all of us kids, all we did was just sit back there. And then I remember the one kid who I was like with for these scenes. There was one scene where we have to like steal a bunch of money that falls. Somebody's walking up some steps and they drop money, and all us kids have to go and steal all the money or whatever. And also we get backstage after that, and he looks at me and his eyes just roll back, and he just falls flat on his back, and he had got heat stroke or something.
Too much
so-
cake at the party.
Well, that's what we thought. Oh, he ate too much
Jeez.
food. No, he had heat stroke,
Wow.
but yeah, I was in that play.
That's a neat sight out there, isn't it?
It was
It's
very
beautiful.
cool.
Like
It's-
when we did Moses. Well, you were there. When we did
That's at that
Moses-
same place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was before, like they've renovated over, I think, 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Actually, from the fundraising that we did at
Okay.
our our Valentine's Day dinner
Oh, yeah.
theater, we donated to help with the renovation. They had there was the temple steps
Yeah.
on stage left
Yeah.
to the audience's right, and then there's a platform over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was so old, and when we did Moses, the wood was warped, and
Oh.
it poured frickin' rain. I remember doing opening night. I was in
rain.
ankle deep water up there. I mean, you're safe. I mean,
Yeah.
there's enough 2x4s to
Yeah.
hold you up. It's
Yeah.
just
It just
it-
feels
it's
funny.
just a really.
Not ideal. Yeah.
And then when Moses closed down the Red Sea on us, I landed flat on my arse
Oh, really?
because I'm coming across and he puts his staff up and I'm supposed to stop.
Yeah.
And my sandals just went right out from underneath me. Like talk about break a leg, right?
Well, and on that note, we need to take a quick break.
Okay, we'll be back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Chuck, you was just telling us about how you slipped in some water.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was just like the stage was wet, but we never got rained out. There was I can't remember which night it was when all the plague of locusts and the hailstorms and everything came. You remember it had been so freaking humid and hot that whole week, and the fog was rolling in off the creek in Larivieres Valley.
Creek.
creek. It's not
You're
big
not
enough.
American.
It's not big enough to be a creek. It's a creek. and it was just coming over the. You've been down there? Have you
Yeah.
been down in,
No, I
the, in the
haven't.
site?
I used to go swimming
It just,
there.
it just
It's
comes
in
down.
La Riviere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it just
cool.
comes down over
Yeah.
the over the slope into, and the mist was coming into the audience, and like, holy jeez, that's a big smoke machine. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I owe you one.
yeah.
Yeah, And
Nice.
when you're out in that in doing a show, you're subject to so many things.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
the sun. You're doing a period piece that requires like a jacket and boots, and it's like
Yeah.
28, and the first act is basically in full sunlight. You're just sweating your tits
Yeah.
off.
See, I was a drummer during that thing, or
Yeah.
a percussionist. And I still had to laugh so much the drums they put together for that. They went and bought like a water barrel,
Yeah,
like those
water
blue
barrel.
plastic ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we just with
Cling wrap
packing
almost.
tape,
Was it packing tape?
just layers of packing tape until it was thick layer. And then we dressed it up to make it look like an old drum, and you just boom.
Boom. It was a really
Insane.
cool,
And
like,
it sounded
timpani-
good.
That's
Timpani
awesome.
kind of sound.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
That's
It was
amazing.
deep sounding.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, Jason and you put those together. And Marcus Hebert. He was up
Oh,
there
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't even live in the province anymore.
he doesn't.
No, I think he lives in, I want to say Oregon or Washington or something.
Oh.
Makes sense why I never see him anymore.
Yeah, hardly ever.
Yeah.
I only know because he's on my Facebook from way back then.
On the Facebook.
On the Facebook. The crack book.
Yeah. Is that Björk?
Wow. I don't know enough Plotich.
Yeah, you do. You sell enough cars to
Yeah, I could get sold at auction and never know.
Fif Dula.
$50.
I'll pay you Fif Dula.
Nej, två.
Fine.
What did it feel like the first time you went on strictly commission?
Jeesh. Well, the first time I went on strictly on commission, I realized within about 6 months, I should have taken this job when it was offered to me when I was 18. Like, because the job that I was doing in Verdun, selling motorcycles and ATVs and boats and ski-doos and sea-doos and lawnmowers and all that,
All the dues.
all the dues was offered to me when I was managing this restaurant. I was 18 years old, and buddy called me up and said, "Want you to do this?" And I said, "So what's it pay?" "Well, it's commission." And I went, "Oh, I couldn't possibly." Turns out, I could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just would have had more money to spend over those formative years.
So maybe it's a good thing
It's
you
probably
did.
a good thing. I'd have no brain what's left.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's funny.
Commission sales can be scary.
Absolutely.
You got to have confidence in yourself. But really, that shouldn't just be restricted to commission sales. Like, you sell, so it's not a fair question, but you guys don't work in sales, but the job that you do, whether it's production or development or design, you got to have confidence in yourself doing it. You might not get paid on commission, but if you don't have confidence in yourself and you do a crappy job, you're not going to get paid at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you seem to be sticking it out.
Yeah.
Like, you have to work when this is over. That's how dang important
Yeah.
you are.
Super important.
Feel important, Lucas.
Okay. All right.
You're kind
Ego
of a
is
big
boosted.
deal.
Yeah.
You're a big deal, Goose. Lucas. I was gonna say Goose, but
Nah, Goose.
I
We
meant
already know that
Lucas.
Goose is a
Booze
booze.
is a huge deal. Just ask him.
I'm in the medium deal range.
low medium.
Medium to low. Yeah.
Lower middle, upper class.
I'm supposed to have confidence to do commission sales, Chuck. And when people tell me that shit.
Yeah, well, there's a certain amount of filtering that you have to do.
We're just prepping you, man.
No
I know.
means maybe, for instance.
That's true.
Always.
In sales,
In
guys.
sales. In sales.
Oh yeah. Oh yikes.
Let's make myself perfectly clear.
Yeah.
Next
Hashtag
question.
safe.
Hashtag safe.
Hashtag be safe.
Finish this sentence. On Sunday mornings, you can usually find me.
On Sunday mornings, you can usually find me on my couch.
Nice.
That's a good place to
Do you
be.
eat Fruit Loops?
No.
Do you eat cereal?
I do eat cereal.
What kind of cereal?
Lucky Charms.
It's You know, I've always wanted to talk about this because when you're young, it is Fruit Loops and honeycomb and alphabets.
Yeah.
When you're 55,
Raisin Bran.
it's Mueslix.
Oh,
Mueslix, which sounds really awful. It's friggin' good. It's got
good.
almonds and cranberries and
Keeps you
maple.
regular.
And that's positively positive.
positive, yeah.
But in experiment, and this is a note to all you, never buy the cereal Alpen. Alpen sits right up there next to the Mueslix and the Weetabix and the Oat Bran and all them healthy shit. Alpen, you pour it into the bowl, and it looks like old gyprock dust.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Asbestos.
and it's like all fiber, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
before you get through this bowl, you're
You gotta
taking a
go.
deuce right away, quick.
Eat it on the bowl. You eat your bowl on the bowl.
You can't put enough water or milk in this thing. It just absorbs it. Like it's
man.
it's beyond dry. And then when you do get it so that it's kind of an amusing paste, you taste it and it's exactly how it looks. Like it's just like
Glue.
it's chopped. None of you guys are from the farm probably, where they grind up grain and they feed chop to the cows and the calves. That's what it is. It's just
Gross.
all these healthy kernels. They run it through a crusher, a hammer mill, and then they box her up.
Jam it in your body.
Yeah, this will be good for you. Trust me.
This will make him poop.
Yeah, this is gonna make you very happy every morning.
Wow.
I'm glad you had a cereal story.
I've been dying to tell the music story because when you buy it, you first buy it, you go, "Where the hell have I got to?"
What
Frickin'
happened to me?
Mueslix. Mueslix. But check it out. It's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Was that you? That was a chair, right?
It's Mueslix.
Mueslix boy.
It's coming.
No, it was so no matter what I say,
No,
I'm
you
gonna
should
be-
shit
I really
yourself.
hope.
Just say that. I shit myself.
I just pooped myself on camera. No, I
I
did.
really hope that the microphone picked up that squeak.
Otherwise, we're talking about nothing.
Just
I'm trying
just
to
add it
rep-
in post.
yeah.
I'm trying to replicate it, and it won't happen
I
again.
think it was
so.
an E flat. Just if you need
Oh
to.
yeah.
The brown note.
Movie title.
Ooh.
That sounds like South Park to me.
Yeah,
I think
fair enough.
there is a South Park episode
Yeah.
dedicated to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is from there.
They're all about poop. Those
Yeah,
guys.
they are.
That's funny.
Yeah.
To a point.
It has been around a long time. Like it's 20 plus
South Park.
years.
Yeah. It's an old show.
That is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, Simpsons are still going, right?
Yeah.
That's 30.
plus. Yeah.
Yikes.
Like,
It's still
let's
funny.
see if Maggie talks and walks eventually, shall we? I mean, I know you can't really. It's why it's been so successful.
Yeah, got to keep it the same. Formula's
No.
working.
Aren't you
Fair
glad that Full House wasn't animated?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
because that shit would have went on forever.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, I got funny. I'm not going to go into that Full House thing, but yeah.
Why not?
I don't know.
Because you just watched all of it.
Yeah,
Did you binge watch Full House again?
Me and my daughter, we've been watching them. It's literally the only show she likes to watch that's not cartoons.
Uh-huh.
So you
And-
compromised.
Well, I compromised. We watched all of them. She loves Michelle. She knows all the characters, and she's a big fan of Jesse because he's handsome.
Oh yeah, he's
I'm like, what are you talking
He's
about?
the-
You're
he-
4.
yeah, but
But
he's
she's like,
Joey
so handsome.
Tribbiani. Yeah, really.
Yeah, pretty much. So she got a leather jacket, boots, because she wanted to dress like him. All right.
No way, really?
Yeah,
And
Check him out off.
yeah she looks
Yeah,
badass. In there.
gonna buy her motorcycle now or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna get her a little one, but yeah,
She's
so we
4.
watched the whole thing.
I don't see any problems when she's 15.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna set up chair here on the street and watch the fireworks.
But yeah, that was my story. So yeah,
Good story.
I'm quite familiar with that.
I
that
bet.
show.
I admit watching it for a couple of seasons and then okay, I can't stand this
Yeah.
anymore. It's just too saccharine sweet.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
I mean, it's family. It's always got a good moral.
Yeah.
But then again, so is Three Company. You know, it always had a decent moral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island.
So
MASH was the best.
MASH was funny.
MASH.
It's
that-
still funny.
It still is.
I'd still watch it
You
and be
know,
like, yeah, it's a good show.
When I first saw MASH, I thought Alan Alda was like the funniest SOB ever. And then he doesn't always do funny shows though. And when you see him doing, the first time I saw him doing a series, you know, it was kind of like when Eddie Murphy put out a serious music album.
Yeah.
And you're just waiting like,
Where's
he's gonna
the
fart
joke?
or something.
Yeah.
He's gonna do something funny because he's crazy. I saw Delirious. I saw Rob.
Yeah.
Certainly, he's not gonna just sit here and sing the piano.
Yeah.
But that's what he does.
Yeah.
And when I saw Alan Alda do that, and it was a serious role, and he was playing he's playing a jerk. He was playing a bad guy, and I was like, holy, that guy's a dick. You know.
Yeah.
He's, you know, I didn't even think he was a good actor. Turns out, he's a really good actor. It's
Yeah.
just that I wanted him to be funny all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie Murphy was funnier than Eddie Murphy, though.
Charlie Murphy and Rick James.
Yeah.
Rick James, bitch.
I'm rich, bitch. Oh, that's awesome.
I've never watched a show, MASH show.
You've
No?
never
Really?
seen that episode?
Nope. not
Treat
one.
yourself.
I have it all on DVD.
Did
For
you?
some
Treat
rea-
yourself. The finale, that 2 hour and a half episode, was until recently like the most watched program of all time.
Yeah.
Like people recorded it on VHS and beta,
We had a beta tape.
thinking that it
Player.
would be worth something someday. You know, not thinking that this shit's been in syndication already for
Yeah.
4 years. Like they just play the crap out of that.
Yeah.
Can download that shit.
It
Yeah.
still plays.
It still plays.
Yeah.
It's on. I don't know what station it is, but when I have a day off on Monday, it's on at 2:30 and 3 o'clock
Yeah.
back to back. I don't know what channel it is. I usually don't watch it because that's Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie, so I'll watch all the old.
Have you watched the
episodes.
new one,
I
the
was just gonna
Discovery?
ask you. Yeah.
No,
It's good.
I bet it is. Does it have Bill Shatner in it?
Yeah, of course.
Does it have Leonard Nimoy?
Not
in it?
really, though.
No, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, all the original Trekkies are dying off. I think the only one that's alive is Shatner and Koenig and Sulu. Whatever Sulu's real name is.
Sulu.
Yeah,
Zulu.
but the Doc is dead, and Scotty died, and that was a shame.
But the new one is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
it is good. It's worth a watch.
The thing with the '60s version is it special effects. That was some guy on a light switch going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Rubber boots on your head.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Like
Klingons had rubber boots on their heads.
No, jeez.
Klingons. Oof.
It's there's a station doing all the Star Wars Mayathon.
Star
So
Wars?
the-
Okay.
Like the original Star Wars motion picture, Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, Voyage
Star Trek?
Home.
You mean Star
I'm-
Trek?
Yeah.
Well, what did I say?
Star Wars.
Oh, sorry. I went and saw Stars on the weekend.
Oh.
How was it?
It was as I suspected. It was very corny because it's a spoof. But there in the first act, there were some belly laughers in there. Like one that really got me had nothing to do with anything except they were trying to get data off their computer. Are we getting short on time? Everybody's looking over here at the director. And this girl dressed in complete black came out with this round thing in front and started turning a dial. It was buffering. And I just shit myself. That was so funny. Just she was buffering. I'm trying. It's buffering. Can't you see? Like who writes
funny.
this? And when can I meet him?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was really really funny.
Did you ever watch Spaceballs?
How many times?
Okay.
Yeah. Ludicrous speed.
They're
They're
jamming
jamming radars.
Surrounded by assholes.
Only strawberry.
Yeah. Only one man would dare give me the strawberry.
Lone Star.
Star. You can hardly breathe in this thing.
Comb the desert.
We ain't found shit. Those listening and watching that have never
ain't
seen it are
found shit.
thinking, oh, there is scotch in those cups.
That's such a good movie.
Nothing yet, sir.
Yeah. And
You said come to the desert, so we're coming. We ain't found shit.
Yeah.
I hate yogurt.
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
What's one thing you want to do before you die yet?
Wow. One thing I want to do before I die. Geesh.
Like bucket list stuff.
You know, That's a fair question. I really don't have something that. I think my answer would be whatever. Like
Okay.
I don't have those pie in the sky ideals. When opportunities come and I can do them, I'll take advantage. But I'm not one of those guys that. I know that sounds weird. I don't have a bucket list, a wish list. Because I've done a lot of shit that would fill anybody's bucket, like, frankly. And I'm not going to tell you about it either.
Off camera.
But I guess if I had one, I grew up at Verdun, and Verdun has a real opera house, like with velvet loges and everything. And that's when I started doing theater back in '82. And I have talked to Richard about taking a show there. And I have a show that we could do there, like, because it's like no set, 8 characters, and everybody plays a lot of different parts. That would be, I guess, if I have a bucket list, I would like to go there because, I mean, it's 100 and some odd years old. The family Von Trapp sang there after World War II.
Really?
Wow.
Which makes Sound of Music my favorite movie. And I know how non-heterosexual that sounds. But that's a great show. And it's a great
good,
musical.
Yeah.
But I would love to do a show there. The acoustics, you guys have been in the Burt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
So acoustically, wow.
Yeah.
I've done, all the plays that I've ever done there, I've done completely mic-less. And you don't need to mic yourself.
That's so cool. That's super cool.
Now, you do have to project.
Yeah.
So some soft speakers might have trouble, but not as a rule.
Yeah.
And they've actually ramped it up. They do musicals there. I went and saw Mamma Mia. Lexi Hackelt from Manitou got a role in Mamma Mia, so we drove down there. A bunch of us theater geeks and watched it on a Sunday afternoon. And like when they walk in, they're looking around like, holy crap. I says, I've been telling you about this place.
Yeah.
10, 15 years. Like, it's awesome. We have to come with a show.
That's really cool, Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to leave any comments for our viewers?
I think I've commented enough.
You
I haven't shut up.
Tell them to subscribe because it's
Yeah,
important.
subscribe to this. It's welcome to the the Green
YouTubes.
Room.
Yeah.
It's on
The Green Room
YouTubes.
Punkcast.
Uh-huh.
The YouTubes.
Punkcast, yes.
Yes.
Clever. Hey.
On the internet.
Brian Jacob actually came up with that one, I think.
Yeah, I think he did.
The YouTubes?
The Punkcast.
Punkcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
He called it a Punkcast first, and I'm like, Brian, I'm using
I think
it.
he was calling you Punkass.
I think so.
That was exactly what he was saying. Yeah.
But all you saw was the back of his head because anybody that's going to call Ed a Punkass is running right after
That's
me.
why he said bitch after.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Punkcast, bitch. That's
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
that makes sense. See, I always thought that was the case, but now I know it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much for watching. Tune in next Monday for another episode. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Green Room. If you feel like becoming a supporter, we got a Patreon account. The link will be in the descriptions below. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And here's some more videos for you to watch. Tune in every Monday for new episodes.